Hello everyone, my name is Enzil Hada and I'm going to present my presentation on understanding literature review and research gap. And this presentation uh, is done as a regular assignment of mid second semester work and is my course facilitator is Mr. Sandeep Dhungana. So let's begin. So let's talk about what is a literature review. So, according to Hertz 2010 and Behrman 2012, it is a critical summary of existing researches on topics, which involves analysis, synthesis, and evaluation of relevant sources. It uh, beyond description, so it criticizes and compares relevant sources. And also another point of looking at literature review is foundation. It forms basis for new research by identifying gaps. So now let's talk about types of literature review. So the first one that we have is thematic review. It basically organizes literature around themes or topics useful when dealing with interdisciplinary research. Example of it is reviewing equity in equations across themes like gender, class, and ethnicity. The second one is theoretical review. It focuses on theories or conceptual frameworks, compares completing theories, reveals assumptions, examples. For example, reviewing Piaget versus Vygotsky theory in child learning. The third one is policy review. It evaluates existing policies related to research issues, especially relevant in applied research. For example, Nepal's education policy on inclusive learning. Continuing with that, now let's talk about the fourth one, which is empirical review. It's examine original research finding, which is qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method. It highlights methodologies, finding, and limitations. Example of it is reviewing studies on teachers' motivation in public schools. Continuing with that, now let's talk about the fourth one, which is empirical review. It's examine original research finding, which is qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method. It highlights methodologies, finding, and limitations. Example of it is reviewing studies on teachers' motivation in public schools. So now let's talk about what is research gap. It's basically an area not yet explored or fully understood in existing research. Miles 2017. It can relate to population, methods, context, or theory. Identifying a gap adds originality and value to research. Now let's talk about type of research gaps. The first one is knowledge, or which basically missing of information. To be exact, it's a knowledge gap, which means lack of information. The second type is related with method or study limits. It basically means method gap, which is limitation in research design. The third one being theory, which basically is weak based. In detail, it basically means missing theoretical explanation. The fourth one being empirical or lack of data, or we can say empirical gap, which is lack of data or population based evidence. The fifth being practical, which is practical gaps, disconnect between research and practice. So example of research gap are, again, lack of empirical studies and teachers burnout in rural Nepal, over reliance on Western theories in Nepalese equation research, and third one, absence of mixed method studies on parent involving schooling methodology. So purpose of literature review are to avoid duplication and reinventing the wheels, to understand what is already known and what is not, to identify conceptual, methodological, and empirical gaps, and the fourth one is to refine research questions and objectives, and the last one is to position your study within the existing body of knowledge. So tip of effective literature review are be critical, not just descriptive, which is also by Dan Taylor and Andy. The second one is use a clear structures like theme, chronology, and method. The third one is keep track of sources and argument continuously update as new study emerges. Now the conclusion is Here, literature review is central to scholarly research. Understanding its type helps structure its effectively. Identifying research gaps adds relevance and originality. A good review strengthens your research foundation. So these are my references. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.